Big news today, guys. Trump has signed an executive order to expand access to IVF. This is something all the liberals basically on the campaign trail he's going to ban or he doesn't care about. All their usual fear mongering tactics that are just flat out lies. So this is a big deal. It's looking like it's going to be looking into lowering the cost of the treatments because they can be expensive. If you are new to my channel, make sure you like, subscribe. All my socials are down there. I'm biggest on TikTok where I have like 19,000 followers. So if you want to follow me, link should be in the description. Before I get started, I just want to show off my Super Bowl champions Eagles hat. Thanks to my fiance for gifting it to me. It was a nice surprise. I was very surprised they won. I didn't think the NFL was going to let them win based on what they have done to help the Chiefs. But that's other news, old news by now. Let's just jump right into this. So, like I said, big news. President Trump has taken bold action to expand access to IVF. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do have a TikTok. I'm biggest on TikTok, 19,000 followers. I'm going to play the video that I made about it today that's at 100-some thousand views, just for you guys to take a watch. So Donald Trump came out with 3 executive orders just a few minutes ago. And I really want you guys to focus on the first one right here.
A short while ago, President Trump signed three items. The first is an executive order relating to the affordability and availability of in vitro fertilization and other fertility treatments. These are treatments that have become unaffordable for many Americans or have been unaffordable for many Americans. And the executive order is a directive to the Domestic Policy Council to examine ways to make IVF and other fertility treatments more affordable for more Americans.
Remember all the fear-mongering leading up to the election about how Trump's going to take away IVF? 6 months ago, Kamala Harris bashed Donald Trump on IVF. Also 6 months ago, Trump will take away the freedom to become a mother through IVF, Michelle Obama says at the DNC. This was a common tactic used by the left to try to get people not to vote for Trump. And today he just came out with an executive order saying they're going to make it cheaper for everyday Americans. So since liberals like to be against everything Trump related, are they going to be against IVF now? So I don't know if that's a little narcissistic to play your own video on your other channel, but I felt like I explained it best there. Yeah, he expanding access to IVF is a great thing. He campaigned on this, the biggest thing, even though liberals, the whole campaign trail were saying he's going to take it away. He said he wasn't. And this video right here explains it perfectly.
IVF has been an issue that has become political. A lot of people talking about it. What's the Trump administration going to do when it comes to IVF if you get elected?
Right. Well, as you know, I was always for IVF right from the beginning. As soon as we heard about it, it's fertilization and it's helping women and men and families, but it's helping women able to have a baby. Some have great difficulty, and a lot of them have been very happy with the results, as you know, and what we're doing, and we're doing this because we just think it's great, and we need great children, beautiful children in our country. We actually need them, and we are going to be, under the Trump administration, we are going to be paying for that treatment. So we are paying for that treatment.
All Americans who want it?
For all Americans that get it, all Americans that need it. So we're going to be paying for that treatment, or we're going to be mandating that the insurance company pay.
So that was before he was even elected president. So, before November 6th, where he was saying he wants IVF to be accessible to everyone. And I think this is where people get like a misrepresentation because a lot of conservatives are against IVF for, a whole bunch of different reasons. Like that's like a religious thing. I actually asked ChatGPT about this, because this is also kind of new to me. So several reasons why people could be opposed to IVF or vitro fertilization. One, religious beliefs. Some believe life begins at conception. The process of creating embryos outside the womb can be seen as morally wrong. The way they dispose of the embryos, from my understanding, is they take multiple eggs and then multiple sperm and then create it and then basically use the best one. So there's a lot tossed out there. So yeah, there's a little I guess sketchiness that could be involved in it. So it all depends on, I guess, when your view of life starts. So it's definitely a little, I guess, gray area, I would say. And just a few things like that. I guess health risks are more likely with IVF, environmental concerns. So people do have their issues with it, and conservatives up until now have been pretty much against it, besides Trump. And it's funny, this is where it doesn't make sense to me when people say will say Trump is far right or extreme. Trump is, if you compare him to most Republicans, he's pretty moderate. Like his views on abortion, I think he said it should be like 15 weeks, which is like a pretty moderate position on abortion, even though liberals would still say it's too extreme. IVF he obviously supports when a lot of conservatives don't. So I would say he's pretty moderate compared to what the media tries to say. So this is just a little bit of, everyone's favorite VP, Kamala Harris, posting earlier last year, Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda could effectively ban IVF, preventing families like Yesenia and her husband from their chance to have a child. I guess that was someone she was referencing. I couldn't tell you. I don't know who that is. And then I love this. This is literally a compilation of just a bunch of liberals fear-mongering the American people. It is something that's just a complete lie. That's what this is. This is literally just a complete lie that they're trying to push on people just to get votes and just to get power. Like, it's just insane. So Hillary Clinton, Trump and Project 2025 want to ban abortion, end IVF, monitor women's menstrual cycles, and more. Wrong. The Democrats page. The only candidate running for president of the United States who will protect IVF is Vice President Kamala Harris. Wrong. Donald Trump's Project 25 agenda, that's one we already read. Joe Biden. Republicans led by Donald Trump are threatening access to abortion, contraception, and IVF. Wrong. So Trump is not touching abortion. That's a state's issue. If you want to argue Republicans in certain states are attacking it, you can go ahead. Donald Trump is not a part of that. He also said he's not touching contraception. So that was all lie. Tim Walz. Even if you've never gone through the hell of infertility, someone you know has. When Gwen and I were having trouble getting pregnant, the anxiety and frustration blotted out the sun. JD Vance opposing the miracle of IVF is a direct attack on my family and so many others. I personally don't know if JD Vance opposes that. I don't remember. And I don't think Tim Walz used IVF. I think he lied about that on the campaign trail. I think he used something that might be similar to it, but it was a flat out lie. He didn't use actual IVF. He was just trying to get votes. I mean, as you all know, he lies a lot. And then, of course, everyone's favorite liberal on TikTok, Mr. Harry Sisson, he posts on X, WTF, Donald Trump's press secretary was asked if Trump would protect IVF access, and she refused to answer the question. She won't say if he'd sign a law to protect IVF or not. It's insane. This is the Republican Party. They want to control women. Lie. So, yeah, that's all they do. Is just lie. They if you want to argue which party is actually more for women's rights, it would be the Republican Party. The Republican Party is keeping men out of women's sports. The Republican Party wants to protect women, while the Democrat Party wants women to be in the bathroom with grown men. So there's definitely a huge difference there. And then, like I said, there's people that have mixed feelings about this. There's very, I don't want to say extreme conservatives, but I guess religious conservatives who argue that this is deadlier than abortion, which I like I said, I'm not fully invested all the knowledge when it comes to IVF and everything. I don't have the most extreme abortion views in the world. I support it when it comes to assault, incest, like that. But my general view is once it has a heartbeat, then I think it should be banned. But before that, first few weeks, no heartbeat, that's usually fine for me. So I don't see this as an issue compared to other conservatives. But this person's like, I've seen a lot of posts like said this, so I pulled this up specifically. This is horrible. It's the worst thing Trump has done as the president. IVF kills more babies every year than abortion does. Millions of babies are frozen indefinitely or murdered every year because of IVF, and Trump has made it worse. And like I said, it depends on, I guess, where your cutoff for abortion is murder kind of situation. Like you have this person here. I'm pro-life and believe life begins at conception. That said, I think Christians go too far. Being anti-IVF, it brings possibility of life to families that couldn't otherwise. Mourning seeds that would never be planted / viable otherwise is a bridge too far for me personally. Yeah, so it does help people bring children into this world, and that's something that conservatives talk more than Democrats is we need more children. We have a population decline, and that we need to reproduce. We need to make more kids, and that's IVF is a perfectly viable reason to do that. Yeah, so I don't see, like I said, I personally don't see the issue. Maybe one of you guys can comment if you disagree, why you disagree. Let me know also if why you agree. Yeah, so I personally think this is a good move because if you ever look at the cost of IVF, so this is on GoodRx. It says total out-of-pocket costs for an IVF cycle could range from $20,000 to $30,000 based on several factors. Right there, $20,000 to $30,000. So one of the factors, fertility center location. According to data collected by Fertility IQ, the cost of the one IVF cycle in Chicago is about $11,700. That's compared to $12,500 to about $14,300 in Nashville, Tennessee, and $16,000 up in New York City. And then medications. Fertility medications that are needed to stimulate egg production can add about $2,000 to $7,000 each IVF cycle. These expenses are generally not included in the cycle cost, and they can vary based on the type of medications used, dosage, and duration of treatment. The initial fertility visit, an additional $280 to $380, is generally not included in the IVF cycle fees. So overall, it's an extremely expensive process, and this is something like we're having more issues now in our society where women are having issues getting pregnant, men have low sperm counts. And obviously, I do think the whole Make America Healthy Again movement with RFK Jr. will fix a lot of this stuff, but that is going to take time. As of right now, it's not going to be fixed in a snap of a finger because a lot of it is our health. It's what we're digesting. It's the chemicals in our plastic, the chemicals in our food, stuff in our water, chemicals, like literally any number of things that could be affecting these issues that people didn't really have that often 50 to 100 years ago. So I do think a lot of that will fix a lot of this, but as of right now, we need another alternative for people to be able to have children because we have a population issue. And in general, people want to have kids, but if they have to spend 30 grand just go through the process of getting pregnant, they're not going to. You know, it's expensive. So then people are just not going to have kids. And then population decline. And then obviously people will probably be sad too that they don't have a kid, you know, because that's the American dream. You get a nice paying job, you get a house, you get kids, dogs, you live your happy life. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about Trump's order for IVF is. Tell me what you think is going to happen going forward. Tell me how you think liberals are going to react to this because I haven't seen that many yet as the posting because I try to get this video as soon as possible. So maybe some people will be freaking out since then. Make sure you follow all my socials. I'm most active on X, TikTok, obviously. I'm most followed on. So highly recommend you follow me. It'll all be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.